My friend Tom is coming to cook with me today. Actually, maybe he's coming to cook for me. I think we're gonna have two different views on a couple of items. We're cooking flank steak today, and he really has a fabulous recipe he wants to share. And you know, he's kind of a West Coast kind of guy, and he's gonna be into grains, and my little old short Southern self is gonna be into some squash. I just love that summer squash. It's gonna be absolutely fantastic. And then we have two differing opinions on salads and salad dressings. So he cooks, she cooks. It's gonna be similar but different. Lots of fun. I hope you'll stick around.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm just excited to be cooking.
I know. Got all your stuff laid out,
Thank
everything
you.
I think you asked for.
Yes.
You ready?
Yes, I am ready.
All right.
I think this will be fun.
Well, I know it will. You're just different. You said I have too much pucker power sometimes.
Sometimes in your salad dressings, you love pucker power.
I know.
Sometimes you gotta sweeten it up, maybe get a little heat.
It's like,
Yeah.
yes.
So we'll try it. We'll
Okay.
see yours, how yours goes.
Okay.
And I'll try mine.
All right,
Good.
let's get to it.
Okay. Gonna do the juice of 2 lemons.
All right.
And I like to do my dressing in a bowl because I like to whisk it. And I know you're a big fan of doing it
Mr. Jar.
in a jar. Now, would you do me a favor? I'm going to squeeze one more lemon. I do
Okay.
need a minced garlic clove.
Okay. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. I'm trying to scoop it all up. There you go.
Okay, I'm going to reach over here and get some of your olive oil. Now, I am not a measurer in the
Okay.
kitchen. So I'm going to guess we got about a 1/4 cup, a little more, of olive oil. Into that, we're going to put some of the agave nectar.
Okay.
You've not worked with this
I
before.
have not.
Okay.
I have not.
So agave nectar it's a natural sweetener. It comes from the agave plant. It's sweeter than sugar. So if you're using it as a substitute for sugar, you would use less than if you're using
Okay,
sugar.
and then this can take the place of honey also.
It can
correct?
take the place of honey.
Okay.
So I'm going to do, I would say maybe like half a tablespoon.
That's probably a tablespoon.
Okay, maybe a tablespoon. Now I love this. It's a jalapeno hot sauce.
Okay.
So it's not quite as hot as some of your traditional, and you just, as much as you want. That seemed good. We might put a little more. So then, much like you, I'll taste it and then see what I want to add to it. The longer it sits, you're so professional with these
I
spoons.
know it.
You know me.
I'm thinking ahead.
I would just put my finger in there.
Well, you can do that too.
Okay, that's pretty
You
good.
like that?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Go ahead.
You're not sharing?
Oh, do you want another spoon?
Yeah.
I thought you might have your own spoon. A
It's
little
good.
more oil.
I like the hot sauce. I really like the hot sauce. Now, honey, I hate to tell you, that's got some pucker power.
It does, and do you think it needs a little sweetener?
I would go with that.
And then now this will sit, and the longer
Okay.
it sits, the more you'll get the garlic flavor up
yeah,
in
no,
there.
I like
and
that. Of
so,
course, I like the garlic. I
So
really
that's
do.
the way I do my dressing.
Okay. All right. You want me to hit it?
Yeah, you hit it.
All right, Smarty, here we go. Now, you chop some garlic for me.
I would do that for you. Do you
Okay.
want 1 or 2 cloves?
I would like, give me a couple.
I figured
couple
you want
small
two.
ones,
Yeah,
yeah.
2 small ones here. Okay.
We'll see how we do this. I've got olive oil and red wine vinegar. Now, the way that I like to do my emulsifier, let's say, is I use Dijon mustard. Come on, buddy. Good squirt in there. All right, you can pop that in there.
Okay.
All right, that's lovely. Thank you so much. Now, I'm going to do a little salt, a little bit more, and a few grinds of black pepper. All right, well, I've got a little pinch of paprika in there. So,
And while Anne's making her dressing, we have, both of us have arugula, and we're putting a little red leaf lettuce on top of that.
all right, I've got to adjust my taste in here.
You're
So,
happy? I don't get to try
I'm
it?
happy. What? Okay. Always something. I'm trying not to hit you with garlic either.
Oh,
Go ahead. You ready?
that's good.
It is good though. Okay. Now
But you
you're-
feel it. but you feel it.
All right.
It's good.
All right, my sweetness, besides my natural self, is going to come from a few berries.
And into my salad, I'm going to put 2 green onions and 2 mushrooms. And that's it. I think that everything else in the salad can speak for itself.
And I'm going to come in with some pretty strawberries, and I've added a handful of blackberries. My friend Tom is here today. He has an amazing recipe for flank steak. I can hardly wait to see what he's gonna do.
We've got 4 pieces of bacon already cooking. So here's our flank steak.
Okay.
First thing we want to do is come in and just give it a nice cut across the grain.
Okay.
You're not going to pound it, and then I'm going to
Oh.
cut it this way.
Wow.
So the thatching is going to be perfect because we're going to start putting stuff on this, and then we can kind of push it in.
Oh, I like that.
As it cooks,
okay.
right. We have 4 cloves of garlic. If
right.
you want to go ahead and chop that
Do you want
for
chopped? Chopped.
me. Yeah, as you know.
Minced.
Minced.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I'm just going to take a little salt on the top there, and some pepper. So this is just fresh parsley, and it's about a half a bunch that you'd get at the store.
You know when Big Daddy hates it, what is it? He's always fussing about green stuff.
Well, the thing is, you bury it on the steak under the bacon,
Okay.
and he'll never
Never know.
there's parsley on there.
High five, great idea. I like
Now that
where you
looks
been. You
perfect.
need to help me out a little bit more here.
All right, let's
right.
let's go ahead and put the garlic right on top of the steak,
All right, now you're gonna mush it around?
and I'll mush it in there.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna mush it all over myself, it looks like.
So that's perfect. See, it kind
Oh
of just
yeah, I
gets
like
in
how it just
there.
kind of gets in all the little
Yeah, and you kind of work it in.
crevices and stuff.
Yeah, it's perfect. So then we're just gonna sprinkle the parsley next.
See, I like this already.
And again, you kind of want to work it in a little bit.
Okay,
get
now
it
get
into the cracks. Do you want to do it?
Well,
Are you feeling left out? Get
yes.
your fingers in there. I make this with several different cheeses depending on who I'm cooking for, and sometimes depending on what's on sale at the store. This is feta. We're going to cook it with feta today. You can also make it with gorgonzola. You can make it with blue cheese.
Ooh.
Feta is the milder of those 3. So if you don't know who you're cooking for, it's always best to go
with the feta.
And so it looks like we're probably going to use it. Depends on the size of the steak. This
You
is
don't
about
want
a
to use all
1
of
pound
that?
steak.
Oops.
You're going to watch when we roll it. It's going to.
Well, it's all gonna fall out, I
There.
know.
All right, you smush. I'm going to go get the bacon because the bacon is next.
Okay, all right. I'm just smushing away.
So here's our bacon.
Okay.
It is not cooked all the way through. You just kind of start the cooking process.
All right.
And what it does is brings a little bit of fat to what is otherwise a very lean cut of meat.
Yes, absolutely. It already looks good, and that's, you know.
And now here is the part that I'm really terrible at, and I'm sure you're much better at it than I am.
Oh.
But you lose.
I have rolled a few things.
And the thing is, when I started doing this originally, I wanted to roll it like a sleeping bag. Get it all tight so it fit in that stupid bag that never fits anything.
Well,
You
usually
don't want to get it tight. You want this as loose as possible.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because that's how you keep the stuffing inside. Right? So I don't want to lose all my stuffing.
Well, see, isn't that pretty?
It is nice having someone to cook with.
All right. It is. Okay.
That's it.
And this is going to the grill.
This will go on the grill, and yeah, we'll cook it outside.
Okay. That looks gorgeous.
So we've got our grill on high for the moment. We're gonna put our steak right there in the front, and then I like to cook on an indirect heat. So I'm gonna turn off the middle 2 burners and turn down the outside burners just a little bit so they're not quite high, but not quite to medium. And then we're gonna let this cook for about 5 minutes on each side.
dear little crisp bacon. That is the topper for my side. Now, I'm making summer squash. You are?
I am making mixed grains and with some different things mixed into it. It's
kind of new age.
but I think you might like it.
I know it will.
We'll get to that in a second.
All right, I'm gonna start you working for me right now, and I'll work for you in a little bit. Mince about a medium onion.
Yes, ma'am.
And here is a half a bell pepper.
Perfect.
Okay. Put a little butter in there. I've got about 2 pounds of squash. And I love this. I just love squash.
I do love squash.
Now, what do you do with yours? Anything different, or?
The other thing that I like to do with squash is to take the seeds out and then stuff it. So I'll do that with yellow squash, I'll do it with zucchini, and just kind of create a stuffing from, like you would say, a kitchen sink stuffing.
Oh, yeah. There's always something hanging out in the fridge.
Right. And do you want this minced as well?
If you would, please.
Okay. It's just half a bell pepper.
It's a half a bell pepper. I want it just, you know what I really want it for? Just a little bit kind of color. It's for color. Now, I almost ripped off part of that.
Do you want part of it? I'll give some to you.
Well,
I don't have to use all of it.
You don't?
No.
Are you sure? Oh.
I could give you a little bit.
Well,
I'll
it'll
throw
be.
some of that in there.
It'll look very colorful then. Yeah, that would be lovely. Thank you. Sharing as we go along.
Sharing is caring, as we teach my nephew. Where did this recipe come from?
It's just kind of a standard thing to do. And normally, I know everybody will probably go, oh, she didn't sweat her onions and everything first. It's all going in there together. The onions will sweat and everything will get tender. And I didn't do, you can always add a little bit of butter if you want some more, but I'm just starting with 2. All right, I'm gonna go take it to the stove.
And while you do that, I will start working on my shallot. Which is actually, if you're not familiar with them, do you cook with shallots a lot?
I do.
I love them. They're related to the onion. They're just not as strong, I guess. Not as potent.
They're not. They're sweeter and they're really, really nice. All right, now what do you want me to do?
cutting this one up?
Okay. Do you want the same effect?
Yeah, just a chopped. You know how I learned to mince? Your husband.
I know it. He had you working.
That man, when he wants minced garlic,
he wants it minced.
he's not joking. And he'll come back in and tell you, you just didn't finish mincing this. Do you mind working a little harder, son?
Anything for you, big guy. I'm really interested to see how this is going to turn out because I have not had this.
So these grains that I picked up, you can use anything really. This is a mix of quinoa and small baby garbanzos.
I mean, they're really, really tiny.
They're really tiny, and it's really good for you.
Squash is a vegetable now.
Well, and I love squash, and that's good for you too. And here's the part where I make it not quite as good for you, is you start with 2 tablespoons of butter.
You ready?
Right in, please.
Okay.
This is it. So this is how it starts. I'm going to take this over to the stove. We're going to let it kind of, the butter will melt and cook and saute just a little bit, and then we'll come back through and add other things.
Okay, what's next?
So that's been going for about 5 minutes or so, just until the shallots get a little translucent. This is about a cup of grains, so we're going to add that in. The other thing that I really love to add, golden raisins.
Oh.
Have you ever tried these?
No, I want one. Yeah.
They're so good. And then I like them mostly for texture. It's about a half a cup of golden raisins. They just add.
They have a sweeter taste than the really dark ones to me.
They do. And the texture that they add as you cook them is just phenomenal. Yeah, they'll plump back up a little bit, and then you've got this like kind of sweet burst from the
It looks
raisins.
good.
And then this is just some vegetable stock. It's what we had on hand. And to be honest with you, I have also done this with just plain water. You just want to cover them. So okay, back to the stove.
You ready? All
We're going to bring this to a boil and then cover it, turn it off, sits for about 20 minutes, and it's done.
I'm going to stir mine. There's nothing like a great cocktail, and we're getting ready to start one right now. What do we have going on, Tommy boy?
We're making a Bourbon Smash.
Okay.
And we're going to use the agave nectar instead
Okay,
of, you would
good.
normally use it as simple syrup, but we're going to use it instead. So I will let you first into your glass.
And how much do I put in there?
You know, you probably want like maybe a little, that's good.
Oh.
That's going to be real sweet right there. You know, kind of like
that.
that-ish is probably perfect.
Okay.
And then we need about, what, 7 leaves?
Okay.
From mint. This is fresh mint from your garden.
Okay. I'm trying to count 5. Okay. 6, 7.
Okay. Then you have these awesome muddlers.
Aren't they cute?
So we'll just muddle away a little
Muddle
bit.
away, smush, smush, huh?
Okay.
All right.
And then we want the juice of half a lemon.
Oh gosh, that's a lot of lemon.
Well, it's going to be kind of tart. You like pucker power.
Well, I'm counteracting by overindulging in
In fact, maybe
agave.
we should give you the whole lemon. And so then the lemon juice also will help to break down that agave nectar a little bit. Can I give you some ice?
Yes, please. And you look a lot.
Yep.
All right.
All right, then just go with the bourbon.
All right. We want a nice kind of little shot there, whatever.
Yeah.
Don't want to go. Whoo, there we go. That looks like. All right. If I can get my muddler. I love how the mint smells. Just smells
it
really.
does.
And it's pretty color too.
And that
really, really pretty.
is a bourbon smash.
All right, my dear. It is absolutely delicious. I like the brightness of the lemon in it. I really, really do. That just kind of perks it up.
Gosh, that's a great drink. Okay.
That is a good drink.
Shall I get our meat?
Please do.
To the
All
grill.
right.
I think it's just about perfect. We have turned it 3 times and cooked it to an internal temperature of around 135. I like it medium rare-ish. It's going to be perfect once we slice into it. It smelled delicious as it was cooking.
Oh, good.
Yeah, delicious. All right, let me set
Kev.
this aside. We'll let that rest
All
for
right.
just a second. And how are we going to finish these up?
Well, we're going to have just a little bit of bacon, you know, just kind of over the top as we get ready to serve.
And while you do that, I'm going to slice up
You've
some
got
of this parsley.
Yeah. And I did add salt and pepper to this, and probably a little bit more butter while it was cooking, and it's just so tender and gorgeous.
It smells so
Yeah.
good. Okay. So,
All right.
then here's what happens with this guy. As it cooks, it's a lot like rice.
Yeah, it did
just
plump up
kinda-
a lot.
It
It
plumps
really
up,
did.
and then it just sort of sits there. And so you want to sprinkle a little parsley on top, and then I take a fork, and you just kind of work it in.
Okay. And it's so colorful.
All right, now there's another fork sitting right there.
Okay, all right,
You want
honey.
to try this?
I'm coming in, okay?
Go in.
Oh, I like it.
Isn't that nice?
It's really tender.
As I have another bite.
Oh, and I got a raisin. I do love that sweetness.
Right? There's this little pop in your mouth.
Love that.
I gotta go in.
You may need a spoon. You gotta have a piece of bacon in there. Now it's just soft and tender and delicious. I know.
Again, texture, the crunchy of the bacon with the deliciousness and the softness of the squash. See how good that looks?
Oh, and it's just perfect. You are a good daughter for coming to eat with us today. Rather, you're going to do the eating because we have picked all during the cooking process, and I am stuffed. This looks wonderful.
You've got my flank steak roulade, which is bacon and garlic and parsley and feta cheese all rolled up, and it's delicious. And then my salad is a sweeter dressing with lemon and a little agave nectar.
You may need to cut that one again. There you go, kiddo.
And it's got just a little kick of that jalapeno sauce.
I like the sweet too. And my salad has blackberries and strawberries with pucker power dressing. There you go, kiddo. So see, I think that the tart really we'll be picking it. I'm gonna have a mushroom here in a minute. So dig in and tell us what you think, kiddo.
Oh, I'm glad you like it.
Perfect. I almost said squash. It's my favorite vegetable.
I know, I love squash. I love it.
That is really good. And they complement each other.
I think they do. I think they do. I like the texture of his grains, but then I think kind of the squash as it's kind of simmered a little bit and it's
so good.
softer or whatever.
And I keep sneaking bites when I'm talking.
Okay, now I'm gonna try.
Oh, you are going to just love that. Oh, I don't know. Our big mouths over here. Do you want to cream it in, honey? Or can you come by it naturally? Isn't that
That
good?
is so good.
Can you taste the feta? Isn't that
And a
great?
little garlic.
And you really did a great job cooking it.
Thank you.
It's so pretty. And I think the biggest thing that we did really was to let it rest and all the juices kind of just go back into the meat and everything because it really is tender.
Yeah.
We were talking about flank steak being something you could very easily overcook, and I think you did just a beautiful job with it.
I'm a firm believer in temperature cooking. You know, go by the temperature.
You went to 100 and...
We took that off right at 135, which
Okay.
is sort of medium rare.
Okay.
And then it cooks a little more. So I would say it's more on the medium side now, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's just beautiful, Tom. You really, really did a great job.